Hello, everyone, and thanks for listening. So, I'm actually responding and making a comment about something that I heard someone say that not all Black males are marrying white women. Well, that's all you see on social media with the Kardashian family, and you've seen that with a lot of other couples. And you've also seen, Black women who uh, are. Getting in relationships like Serena Williams, where they've married white males. But I feel like I've seen more of, I feel like I've seen more of the the black males that are involved, like Jamie Foxx, some of the rapper artists that are with either lighter skinned women or they're with white women. And you see that a lot more, and it's sort of normalized, and it's sort of also like a trend as well. And it's like the thing to do. And so this woman, she was on her video. She was saying this because she, from the tone of her voice, from what I heard, it sounded as if she really just, I'll be honest, she has this dislike for white people, and it's almost like she's trying to save the black race. And what she's doing is trying to promote having relationships with black females. And that's not what I've been seeing and hearing lately. And so here it says almost all millennials accept interracial dating and marriage. So there's a couple of things at play here. So we have a generation that is much, much different. They view things a lot more different than the past generations. That's one thing. There's a younger group now, and there's the trend of, what is it saying? All millennials accept interracial dating and marriage. And so this is a part of the Pew Research Center series. Some things that make up the millennial generation. So, over the last several decades, the American public has grown increasingly accepting of interracial marriage and dating. So, the shift in opinion has been driven both by the attitude change among individuals generally and by the fact that over the period, successive generations have reached adulthood with more racially liberal views than earlier generations. So, that's basically what I've been saying. And so millennials are no exception to this trend. Hear that trend. Large majorities, 18 to 29 years old, express support for interracial marriage and within their families, and the level of acceptance is this generation is greater than the other generations. And so the Pew's Research Center's recent report on racial attitudes in the U.S. finds that an overwhelming majority of millennials, regardless of race, say that they would be fine with family members' marriage to someone other than their own race or background or ethnic group. So, asked about particular groups to which they do not belong, millennials are about equally accepting of marriage to someone in any of the groups tested. And so, roughly 9 and 10 say they would be fine with a family member's marriage to an African American, 88%. And so in a Hispanic, 91%, an Asian, 93%, and a white American, 92%. Okay. And so this right here, if you want to go into this, it goes on, it has much reading, but the not only the demographics of time has changed, but also the generation and the mindset of people have changed as well. May not benefit everybody and people from the past. Maybe they disagree on certain issues, but this is a new generation. So this high level of acceptance among the millennials holds true across ethnic and racial groups. So there is no significant difference between white, black, Hispanic millennials and the degree of acceptance of interracial marriage. Compared with older groups, particularly Americans ages 50 and older, millennials are significantly more likely to be accepting of interracial marriage. So while 85% of millennials say that they would be fine with the marriage of someone from any other groups asked about, that number drops to about three quarters, 73% among people of age of 30 to 49 years old, and 55% ages 50 to 64 years old, and just 38% of those who are 65 and older. So their opinions and views are going to be a lot different. The way you view life is a lot different because you come from a different time area and you different generation. So your mindset is different. So the things that you pump into the heads of these kids, they're not buying it. And so they didn't experience Jim Crow. They did not experience, some of the things that some of our great grandparents, great people from our past have experienced. Some, yes, do know. Some are astute and affluent, and they're well versed on the issue because of maybe their parents that have gone through some similar issues, or some things having to do with racial disparities, or maybe they grew up in a household where there were significant racial disparities and things that are going on, like even right now with the police. A lot of young people can identify with the police and racial profiling. That is happening like right now in our time, their time. And so they can identify, they as in millennials that have seen what's on CNN and MSNBC and Fox News and then some of the other stations, and then on the social medias, because most of the times, even if they're not news watchers, which I would presume that not all of them are news watchers, they're more on social media to get their information because they get it from some of the older heads and then they get it from some of the newer people. And so you do find that there are a lot of young people who are getting in interracial marriages. So this woman, I don't know where she's getting, but which some of it is validated, but the rest of it is just seems more like it's more her personality or her character. But I'm going to have to say I disagree. There are a lot of black males that I have seen that even have black. They not many of them. I don't see very many of them with black girlfriends. I see them with either Hispanic girlfriends or white girlfriends, or white. You know, in involved with a white woman, despite all of the things that people are putting out online. Now, I'm not saying that all black men are doing this. However, I am seeing a lot more interracial coupling. And I have fairly recently, I have seen some interracial coupling with black women that are dating outside of their race, but a lot of it that I've seen, and I'm just saying in my neighborhood, and I'll even mention the South as well. What I seen in the South, I was seeing black men with white women. I was seeing some of that going on. And then I was seeing a lot more here, like in California, I have seen black women with Hispanic men. I've seen that. I've seen some of that. I've seen some black women with white men. And then I've seen a lot of black men with white women. So I'm just saying this is just in general. Now, I'm not saying everybody, but I'm saying I see a lot more of that more recently here in 2018. So this, I believe, is true from the Research Center, which does consensus on trends, U.S. political issues, and media and news and social trends as well. This would be in the classification of all social trend. So I believe that, yeah, there are a lot of more interracial coupling nowadays. And two, I wanted to make mention, when you see what happened to that one lady who was murdered and tied up and left as a hostage in this black guy's home. He was, I think he started out in New York, and he was supposed to be in arraignment, and he was supposed to appear in court, but he wouldn't because they couldn't get him out of his cell because he refused to leave. There's been a lot on social media, males that have pretty much bashing females, and I've seen a lot of bashing of black females. Now, I've seen the other as well, vice versa, but I've seen more recently, I've seen a lot of bashing of black females, and I've seen a lot of bashing of females because of the Me Too movement. So I did mention that in previous videos. So anyway, I'm going to cut this short, but I don't know what this woman was trying to put out there. I think what her whole concept is trying to get black people to rally together. This, not everybody has the same views. There is a consensus with some people in terms of the violence that people have been experiencing at the hands of rogue cops or cops that are bad cops per se. Not the good cops. I'm not talking about good cops. But more recently, we've been seeing a lot of light shine on the bad cops. And so this is why I'm bringing this out. But anyway, I'm going to cut this video to a close. But I don't know what's going to come out of that. I just see that social trends, times do change. Demographics change. Just like the demographics, we're seeing more people of color being the majority instead of classified as historically it's always was known as a minority. The minorities are no longer minorities. In this time, they're more the majority. And so that's also a change that has happened. Anyway, I'm going to let this video go. Like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for listening. If you want to see this, this is Pew Research Center, and as it is up here. So